Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling something big, a diet that turns a lot of what we think we know about food completely on its head. So, let's just jump right in with this really provocative idea, which comes to us from Dr. Ken Berry. What if meat isn't the villain in our health story? What if it's actually the hero?
All right, first things first. To really get this, we need to understand the problem that this whole diet is trying to solve.
Okay, so the core idea here, according to Dr. Berry, is that meat has gotten a seriously bad rap. We're talking about a food that's been central to the human diet for, millions of years? The argument is that calling it inflammatory is just as nuts as saying clean water or fresh air is bad for you. It just doesn't make sense from this point of view.
So you see this list, right? Inflammation, cancer, diabetes. These are the big scary things we're all told meat causes. Well, proponents of this diet say, hold on a second. They argue these are basically myths. The claim is there's zero credible research that actually proves meat is the direct culprit, and that it's this fear, this misinformation, that's really keeping people from being healthy.
And this all ties back to, our ancestors. The whole framework here is that a diet centered on meat isn't some crazy new fad. Not at all. It's actually presented as the original human diet, the way we're supposed to eat, because it's what we've been doing for like 3.5 million years.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, it's all about elimination.
So at its heart, you can think of the carnivore diet as the ultimate spring cleaning for your body. It's not just about adding meat. It's really about what you're taking away. The goal is to get rid of all these potential irritants. We're talking everything from man-made stuff like glyphosate to even the natural chemicals in plants, like lectins and oxalates. And for anyone who's curious, the recommendation isn't to just dabble. It's a full-on 90-day experiment. You go all in, just meat, maybe some eggs and butter, and you see what happens. The thinking is you need that much time to really let your body reset and figure out how you actually feel.
So how does it work?
Well, one of the main ideas, according to Dr. Berry, is that by cutting out pretty much all carbs, you're hitting a giant reset button on your metabolism. This is supposedly what helps the body start to reverse those big chronic issues like fatty liver and type 2 diabetes, simply by bringing down your insulin and blood sugar.
Now, it's not all one big happy family. Even within the carnivore world, there are some pretty heated debates. Let's talk about a few, like honey and coffee.
Okay, to get into this next debate, we need to know one word: glycation. It's a fancy term, but the idea is simple. Imagine sugar getting sticky and basically gumming up the machinery of your body, your cells, your proteins. That stickiness causes damage and inflammation. Got it? Good.
This leads to what Dr. Berry calls the glycation blind spot. So, you know that standard A1C test for diabetes? It's great at spotting damage from one kind of sugar, glucose. But here's the thing. It's apparently completely blind to other sugars, like the fructose in honey or the galactose in milk. And get this, the argument is that these other sugars are way, way worse, like 7 to 10 times more damaging. But our tests don't even see them.
And then there's coffee. Coffee. You've got two main camps here. You've got the purists who say, nope, it's a plant, it has plant chemicals, get rid of it. Then you have Dr. Berry's take, which is a bit more chill. He basically says, for most of us, it's probably fine, but you won't know if you're one of the sensitive few until you try cutting it out for 30 days and see for yourself.
So when it comes to all these little debates, the core advice is pretty simple. Don't major in the minors. Handle the big fish first. Get rid of the sugars, the processed junk, then you can worry about whether or not to have that cup of coffee.
All right, let's zoom out, way out. The source material poses this huge question. What if this wasn't just a diet for individuals? What if the entire world went carnivore? Well, the predicted outcome is nothing short of a public health revolution. The idea is that the chronic diseases plaguing us, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, all those inflammatory conditions, they wouldn't just be managed, they'd practically vanish. Imagine that. But a health revolution like that would cause an economic earthquake. Think about it. The giant food corporations that sell us grains and sugar, their profits would tank. The pharmaceutical industry that sells drugs for chronic diseases, same story. We're talking about a massive
Massive disruption to the status quo.
But out of that disruption, the argument goes, something new could be born. You'd see a shift away from this giant globalized processed food machine and a move towards something totally different. A new economy that's local, that's resilient, and that's built around local ranchers and farmers.
So you see, for its proponents, this isn't just about what's on your plate. It's way bigger than that. It's framed as a genuine paradigm shift, something that could change everything. It's a huge idea for sure, and it really leaves you wondering, could changing what we eat really change the world? It makes you think about the connection between your fork, your health, and, well, everything else. We've laid out the case as presented in the source material. What you make of it, that's up to you. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.